Welcome to Talks with Tracy, with certified hypnotherapist, life coach, and licensed mental health professional, Tracy Claremont. Tracy will share her healing journey and explore the many meaningful alternative healing methods in our world today that will support you in doing your own deepest emotional healing. So please welcome the host of Talks with Tracy, Tracy Claremont. Let the suffering end and the healing begin.
Hello and welcome to Talks with Tracy, coming to you here on the Bold Brave Television Network. I'm your host, Tracy Claremont. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to listen to my shows, and I always like to open with a thank you to Bold Brave Television Network for having me. I really appreciate them. So I have committed the month of January to the topic of becoming unstuck. And it's that feeling where you're kind of going in circles in your life, or maybe you're in a relationship where you feel like you need things to move forward, but maybe your partner is not moving forward with you, like you feel like you need to activate. Maybe you're afraid of what moving forward for yourself would mean. And it's like you're treading water and you're just trying to keep your head above the water and gulping some air. We've all been there before. I certainly have been there before in those stuck moments in my own life. So I am talking to amazing people this month about their own moments of feeling stuck and what they did to shift that, to activate, to move out of that, to break that energy. And today is no exception. I have an amazing guest lined up for today who will speak from the male perspective of getting unstuck. We get a lot of female perspective on this show, and I'm always happy to have his male perspective. The incredible Cody Weaving is here today, and Cody is what I would call a beacon of white light and positive energy. So if you've watched before, you know that I really like words that people speak. I like writing them down. I like quoting them. And I choose my words intentionally. I do my best to be careful with the words I choose. So when I was writing this up and I was going to describe him as a beacon of light, I'm like, ooh, I hope I know what that means. So I Googled it, and a beacon of light is someone who serves as a source of inspiration, hope, or guidance for others. And that's like the perfect description of Cody Weaving. I love that. I nailed it. So, in fact, it was his Facebook post that initially drew me to him. Again, I love those words. So, these posts that he had, I saw that he had done work on himself, and he was an enlightened human being. And I noticed that in his posts, he speaks from his heart, and I really appreciate that. So I wanted to start before we bring him on by just giving you an example of a post that he did, and I just think it works well to set the tone and the intention for today's show. So Cody wrote on his Facebook page, and I quote, "I don't know about you all, but what a testing year for me it has been." This was written like last month. "I have had many highs and many lows. I keep getting reminders that this healing journey never ends. We just keep diving deeper within ourselves. I'm truly grateful for it all, for the hardships, and every struggle has built a stronger foundation. I'm honored to feel so deeply, allowing everything to just flow, to not take things so personally, to walk gently, but to always be authentic, and to truly prioritize my inner peace over everything else. But most of all, when it feels like the end, it is often just the beginning." What a beautiful expression of the dance that we do, right? The dance that we do with struggle and flow and perception and expansion. How sometimes we see ourselves as being stagnant when actually there is forward movement happening. It just doesn't feel very good, but it's important to do. So I really like that. That's a beautiful expression of of what we're going to talk about today. So let's hear more from him. Let's bring him on. Please join me in welcoming the amazing Cody Weaving to the show. Hi, Cody.
Good morning. Good morning. Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising.
Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me share your Facebook post first off, and then also for being here today. I really appreciate that. I really felt like that post that you did, it really spoke to what we're talking about today, like those moments of being stuck and you described your last year as having tests that came to you. I would imagine those are those moments where where moments of struggle and whatnot. Can you kind of talk to us about that and tell us what you were meaning by that?
Of course. I think us as people, I want to start this whole, show out as a deep breath and
Mm-hmm.
to kind of calm the spirit and just bring the energy and balance ourselves in a kind of, you know, calmer manner. I think for me, the most part, what I've learned throughout this is men, our expectations for us is it's so tucked in. Like we're not allowed to really express ourselves or show our true emotions. So it's almost like we have to be this tough guy and we have to not show or express or communicate with anybody else because it dampers our ego. It hurts that inner pride, which we're taught as a younger age through, of course, different males figures and people in our lives. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying it gets lighter as we kind of release that and we let go of that and just become a more balanced spirit. So I think the highs and lows and the definitely all the hardships that we go through, it kind of builds that spirit into a calmer manner and allows us to feel everything, in a deeper way.
I really appreciate you being a man who is expressing at that level in a public way. When I was looking at your posts, that kind of thinking about how I wanted to introduce you, I noticed that my husband was liking your posts, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Right? Because he hears it from me. These kind of things a lot. I mean, it's just who I am, is how I talk. But I was really happy to know that he was hearing it from a man as well. You know that you were expressing, being vulnerable, talking about um, shifting these things within yourself, and I really it made me really happy.
I think it's all about, us men, we really need to support each other on these deeper conversations
Hmm.
that we're having with each other and not just the football games or the sporting events or whatever people are into. I think those small talk, it devalues our spirits. It allows us not to open up and express those emotions. Like I remember the healing for me, it didn't begin until I was able to communicate and express these feelings that were built up throughout the many years and the addictions that I break in and just to kind of, there's repeating cycles that kept happening. I had to express these and communicate that to release these, or at least get it out there so we can communicate, let it inside of me and kind of release that. Let it feel, let it kind of be what it was, whatever it is, and let it flow in and let it flow out.
Right. Yeah, there's that saying that you have to feel it before you can heal it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, that's where addictions come into play so heavily with so many people, is addictions numb all of those feelings so that you don't have to go there and feel it. And then, of course, that just puts people in a cycle that is just repeating until you decide to release the addiction and really, really feel. That's a hard thing for people. Yeah. Oh, it looks like we lost the connection for a moment. Sorry about that. So, just to expand on what I was just saying, there's many ways that we numb ourselves and we keep from feeling. Maybe, maybe more so men than women. Well, I don't know about that. There's a lot of men and women who are caught up in addiction equally. It looks like Cody is back. So, all right. There you are, Cody. So yeah, we were just talking about I was talking about numbing things with addiction and really not going to that feeling place. And again, appreciating your expression because you really speak from your heart center. Is that correct? I can feel that.
Yes, I think that's the most important thing for us men is to realize it comes from the heart center, and that deep breath allows us to feel from that place. So a lot of times we're not
Mm-hmm.
shown that or express that. We're taught to bottle it up. I really think for us to feel the feelings and accept what they are and let them really come in us instead of bottle up in us. That way we're able to express those and others can follow, lead by example in a way.
Right, absolutely. And I like how you said in that quote also how you are prioritizing your inner peace. A lot of
Mm.
times, men and women are both taught that to focus on ourselves, to make ourselves a priority, is just selfish, and we shouldn't do that. But that's another thing that you brought out in that quote.
Yeah, I think it's huge for us all to really make ourselves our first and most priority. I mean, this is the thing is we're kind of here to go inside of ourselves and heal whatever traumas and inner brokenness that we have and feel that and express that and show that. I mean, we're not really here to help others. I mean, there's certain things we can kind of give each other insights and kind of a little nudge here and there. But I think for the most part, we lead by
Mm-hmm.
example by first working inside of ourselves. That way we can express and show others where that healing comes from.
Right, and that's a great point. We can only heal ourselves,
Yeah.
and we do that by being willing to go inward. And I know that you expressed that this healing journey is a process of going deeper and deeper into yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's that heart space that I can feel is where you come from, speaking from your heart.
I think it's the
Yeah.
most important thing to remember. I'll say it again, as males, we're not really taught to show it from that area. We're taught, to work from the ego, or work from that lower energy that we're, to walk like we're tough and we're strong and we're big and don't cry, don't show your emotions. But in all actuality, we want to do the opposite of that. We want to express these and show our children, and the women and the elders that we do have these strong spirit in us to show and give and care for each other and show this interconnectedness that we all share together.
Right, and find those safe places to express, even if it's just in a journal by yourself. If you don't have somebody in your life who is safe to express to, just practicing that expression is a great thing, and getting those feelings outside of yourself, so you don't become something that you're not. So you don't attach yourself to a disingenuous identity. That comes from negative experiences, right? Lies about ourselves. Yeah, that we're not worthy or something.
Yeah, this healing journey, it's so lonely, and especially at first.
Mhm.
When you first start doing it, nobody's doing it. It's the road less traveled for a reason. So I want people to know it's to go inside of ourselves and to really feel our feelings, those emotions, and why do I act this way, or why do I respond like this, or why do I take this personally? So it's really an in-depth look within ourselves, and that's where that healing really starts. Is we have to be alone. We can't be surrounded by a lot of people and in our old ways and doing the same things, repeating patterns over and over. So it's all about kind
Mhm.
of finding that inside, that spirit in there, and working through that spirit, the deep breaths, and the meditation, the prayers, the movement, the body movement. I mean, the hydration, the eating clean foods. It all kind of works together.
Right. Yeah, it's like this big process of clearing out our vessels, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
This
Big.
vessel that we have, our body, our minds, that our soul is working
Yes.
within.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to that place. There's lots of different ways to do that, but the first step is to um, take action, to actually say, I want to do this, and I'm going to do this, not for anybody else, but for ourselves, right?
We have
Because
to
if we
hold
do it for
ourselves. Yeah. Excuse me. Go
accountable,
ahead.
no, go. I was just going to say, if we do it for somebody else, then it's not genuine.
No, it's always comes for us, by us. It's never for any. It's not always going to be comfortable. Most of the time, it's super uncomfortable, and it's about jumping into that comfortability that makes us, seem like, oh, okay, this is what this feels like, and then we become more at ease with this. We become balanced within our spirit. It feels like it's something I should have done a long time ago. I remember when I first started opening up, I was so ashamed to do it. And I was like, I don't know if we're supposed to be doing this. I don't know if, and then all of a sudden it started becoming easier and easier. And I was like, oh, and then I'm giving hope, and I'm giving, fresh breath of air to people that really are looking up to that. And they need that, because we're in this time right now where it's really confusing if you're out here looking in this outside world. So I think as long as we go within ourselves and we can really feel what we're feeling, and heal these old wounds that are in there, it gives us a deeper insight within all of this. Then we can kind of look around here and kind of just be a observer instead of trying to take part in every little thing there is.
Right. And so did you push through that uncertainty that you had about, not like when you first started doing it, I don't know if I should be doing this. Did you just push through by continuing to do it and gaining new experience or with it?
I mean, the number one thing I think is taking this uncomfortableness and really
Mm-hmm.
kind of swimming in it. Not necessarily diving right away, because all of this is baby steps. It's little bits at a time. It's not like this happens overnight. This takes years and years in the rest of our lives to really, and it never ends. It's a never-ending journey of healing.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it comes more comfortable, as we jump into this nervousness and this, oh my, I don't know if I should be expressing this. It hurts. Oh my God, it's tearing me apart to show people what I feel and my emotions that we have inside of ourselves.
Right. And I think it's moments like that where it comes into play what you did at the very beginning of our show, where you took a deep breath and
Mm-hmm.
centered yourself, just kind of to create a calm energy. We can, I do that all the time.
Mm. It's my number one. I go to that in all areas. Right in the middle of being out or in a conversation, if I'm just feeling anxiety or I'm like, I can't handle this energy, is so much for me, I'll take that deep breath and just release it. And then it brings you back down to this heart center, and it allows you to feel calm, and the stress kind of just, it goes away, it dissipates in a way. So it's definitely my number one trick I love to use for myself. It helps me to bring
Right.
my back to a centered area for sure.
Right. Yeah. And I do the exact same thing. And I even do it like, uh, I've even kind of learned to do it kind of like secretively within, so people outside of me don't realize I'm doing it.
No, that's a tough one too, because you don't want to show like you're stressed out or, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. But I even try to explain that to people, or express what I'm doing and
Mhm.
why I'm doing that, even no matter where I'm at. I just want people to know it's okay to breathe that deep breath and to
Mhm.
feel that life, that
Right.
oxygenated blood. It's a renewing.
Right. And uh, another benefit to actually showing it is that when you do it, people tend to mirror you
Mm,
and also take that deep breath, and it helps to calm people around you as
yes,
well.
it does.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, staying centered. Absolutely. So one of the, again, back to the quote that I said, one of my favorite, the lines in it is the end, where it says, when it feels like the end, it is often just the beginning. That speaks to perception, correct? Like how we perceive things.
It does, and I feel like it, for most of us. I'm pretty sure all of us, we feel at moments like this is too much, or this is hard, this is heavy, this hurts. Why am I here? What am I doing? I should have done it this way. I wish I would have followed through with that. But we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Everything happens
Mhm.
exactly how it's supposed to happen. So it doesn't matter how bad or how good, as long as we're just willing to accept what that is, and willing to accept and
Mhm.
release and feel it, and just let it be, let it flow. It's just something. It's part of these emotions that help the spirit grow in all ways.
Right. Right. And I find myself saying frequently that to myself, and when I'm working with other people and when I'm talking with my children. There's never anything that is going wrong in the universe.
Mm.
It all has meaning. It all has purpose. And I believe what you're kind of speaking to when you're saying going with the flow is trusting and kind of surrendering to
Yeah.
the flow of what's happening. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to trust. Sometimes it's really hard to trust in the flow of the universe and just move into it, and because we let our fears get in the way. But yeah, so super important to do. I think right now we will break for a commercial. It is time to take a brief commercial break, so we'll do that. You're watching Talks with Tracy on Bold Brave Television Network. We'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Hello, welcome back to Talks with Tracy. I have the honor and privilege today of visiting with the amazing Cody Weaving. Thank you, Cody, again for being here today. So we did mention in the last segment clearing our vessel so that we can get to a place of more optimal physical, emotional, spiritual health and well-being. And it's my understanding that that is something that you have put considerable thought and time and energy into. And, quite honestly, it is something that has come to my attention in a bigger and bigger way over these years. I remember a time in my life where I just wasn't doing much self-care at all, doing much of anything to reduce the pollutants in my internal environment. All these toxins, I just putting them all in me, and emotionally I was letting them in, and it's not sustainable. I ended up having somewhat of a physical and emotional breakdown at some point. You can't live your life like that. And so maybe in the past I didn't recognize the importance of clearing out our bodies and our minds so that we could be clearer in all different important areas of our lives. But that's one of the ways that you have, that's one of the focuses that you've had, correct?
It is. I remember for me, the most important thing was fasting, detoxing, and cleansing. And I've been doing this process for probably 8 years, going on 8 years now. So
Oh, wow.
before that, I remember my life was so, couldn't respond and react in the right way. Even with myself, it was so loud inside my body and my mind. I didn't know what it was. And I started realizing, man, maybe the toxins, the chemicals, the preservatives, the additives, everything I was putting inside myself was making me irritable. It was making me angry. It was making me sad, depressed, lonely. I mean, I could not believe it. I remember my first fast, and this wasn't by choice. We do a ceremony, Sundance, where we obviously we don't eat food or drink water for 3 days. And after that first ceremony, something in me changed. I felt literally like I was calm and I was okay with whatever needs to happen. And everything throughout my past in my life, it would all built up for this one moment. I'm like, now I get it. I have to start taking out these toxins and chemicals, heavy metals and parasites out of my body. I mean, there's something going on with that. It's a big factor, I think, in all of us when we built those toxins out, which could be in all of our plastics and microplastics and any type of pans we're using that are Teflon. Or, I mean, we have to really make sure to cook and maybe drinking out of glass and using filtered water. I mean, it's so very important and vital for the human body to kind of, clean itself out and detox itself in that matter.
Right. Yeah. As I have focused on my spiritual expansion, I know one of the things that I have been trained and taught is that, we have a lot of fluoride in
Mm,
water, like tap water,
yes,
and
totally.
that is actually one of the things that's said. And don't like quote me on this. These are things that my teachers have taught me, but I haven't like it just came to me, and I haven't like don't have all the scientific backing. But it's actually believed to block your the pineal gland in our brain.
Absolutely.
That is so it's the place for our spiritual expansion and whatnot. So that's one of the first things whenever I take a class like that, they say do not drink tap water, do not take in fluoride.
Mm.
So
I think that's super important to say and bring that up. As our pineal gland being our third eye, it's our highest chakra. We can actually comprehend, our conscious awareness opens up. We feel and see things in a different way when we clean and decalcify that third eye. So we have to remember the importance of this. I mean, why is it in the water? We got to make sure that we go inside of ourselves and like, okay, I got to detox and cleanse. So it's a more deeper inside of us thing. And I think for the pineal gland, when you open that up, it's a very sacred thing. I think it just changes your whole personality, and you are able to look at things in all ways instead of just our way. It's like, oh man, maybe this is this way, maybe that's that way. So it gives us a different system to look at things. It opens up things, and your intuition becomes alive.
absolutely. And that's one example of the ways things shift and change within ourselves as we detox and cleanse. So I know, Cody, you are writing a book about this kind of thing, and you're even developing a cookbook with some recipes and
I,
whatnot. Is that right?
I am. I've been in the process for a
Yeah.
couple of years now, and I'm just trying to find detail and hopefully have those out by the end of this year. And I'll give a little bit of a plan and a little bit of direction for people to kind of take little bits and little parts of that and use that for themselves to kind of to upgrade, to renew, to cleanse.
Mm. So I am somebody who is looking forward to that because I have had, intentions over the years of like, oh, I'd really like to detox my body from these things. And then I start to like Google, right? And there's so many different things out there. And then suddenly everything has like a cost associated with it, like buy this product to do this cleanse. And then I start to wonder, okay, so can I trust that? I don't know if I can trust that. But then when I was talking with you, you have some really great ideas that I feel like I can trust, and it's a place to start.
Yeah, I'm doing this on a deeper level. I'm doing it hopefully
Mm-hmm.
with no value in mind other than people to gather some information to use that inside of themselves so they can break these cycles. And that having that intuition, that third eye open, it allows us to kind of see things in a different way. We know when we're being lied to. We know when
Mm-hmm.
something maybe doesn't feel like the truth. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
so very important to start first thing do a fast, and then a detox, of course,
Mm-hmm.
of the parasites and heavy metals, and then follow that with a cleanse. But I mean,
Right.
it's just so very vital to do it. I mean, it's changed my life. It's literally the number one thing I would say that's helped me more than anything else is the fasting, detoxing, and cleansing.
Okay, so if you don't mind, can you just kind of get into the nitty gritty of it all? I did send a document to our engineers to show while we're having this talk, because sometimes I will hear like different supplements, different herbs, the names of them. And when I just hear them, it doesn't really mean anything to me because I'm not familiar with them. And then I can't remember them, right? So we did take the time to write some things up. For me, it's easier to read something and see it, see the words, and then remember it, or maybe take a screenshot of it or something like that. Because I really want this to be doable for people. I want people to be able to say, this is a great place to start. So, do
Yes,
you mind if we put that up now and you can kind
that
of
would
walk
be.
us through it?
Thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate
all
it.
right. Caleb, do you have that? Can you put that document up? And you can start. Oh, he said, give me a second. You can start talking about the about that whole cleanse process, or we can wait. Oh. So Caleb is trying to get that document up, and we are going to get Cody back here in a minute so he can walk us through this process of detox and cleansing. Sometimes I read all of the things that are polluting our bodies, and it honestly kind of scares me. So try not to be scared about the pollutants that are out there in our bodies and we're taking in all the time. This is not meant to scare anybody. It's meant to activate people. I was just saying, Cody, that sometimes I see all the pollutants that we take in on a regular basis and it scares me.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest cause of a lot of our turmoil and chaos with inside of ourselves is the toxins that the buildup throughout the years and years. I mean, everything nowadays has some type of pesticide or some heavy metal or a parasite that's involved inside of us. So I love to start out with a fast, and usually it's a 1 to 3 day
Okay.
fast. And that fast,
Okay.
if you want to first start, maybe just do an intermittent fast. Maybe do one meal late in the afternoon. You know what I mean? And start that for a couple days, and I'll follow that with a parasite cleanse. Of course, the
Okay.
parasites. I try to always do the parasite cleanse on like a
Oh, there
full
we
moon.
go.
Oh, there we are on a full moon or a new moon. So we have to remind ourselves a lot of these parasites they come out to lay their eggs during these new and full moons. So that's the best time to take a fast or a detox and cleanse is during that area. Then, of course, the heavy metals, is something that's built up of the mold. I mean, the heavy metals, a lot of them we can't even, like microplastic, it's hard to really cleanse those out of our body. So we have to take into consideration we can clean out as much as possible, and that way it just really realigns that spirit. So we were able to think in a clearer way, a calmer way, able to balance that whole mind, body, and spirit out. So for me, it's been a life changing thing to have that. It's the spiritual enlightenment inside myself. It just all started to make sense, and then after you followed up with your heavy metal cleanse, you can do a mineral salt bath, which or a hot springs, which I like to do. In that process, it just kind of cleans everything out. It literally the salt it goes into your cells and it flushes everything out. So all the dead parasites, the eggs that they lay, the heavy metals that are in there, it kind of leaches onto those and it clears out your body. So it's so vital to kind of have that, set up at your very last part. And you could just take little parts and pieces of this. It doesn't all have to be done at once. You could take whatever's going to work for you
Mhm.
and kind of follow up to it. But the process it just it does something to the human body. It just allows you to feel in a deeper way and walk in just a more sacred manner. Just,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Now, I just want to point out a couple things on this. I've highlighted some of the ingredients just so people can see it more easily. If you wanted to detox from parasites, that start with some kind of anti-parasitic, and he recommends para-free, and then whole cloves and wormwood, um, black walnut whole, and Cody, is it true you boil these things in some water, and if you're going to use a pot, you want to use cast iron?
Absolutely, or steel. I mean, I suggest cast iron, but you can use steel. That's the two I would
Okay.
kind of stick with. Yeah.
Right, and then you kind of recommend some foods that go along with this period of detoxing. I'm looking at the parasites right now. So you have some foods: pumpkin seed, papaya seeds, coconut oil, raw garlic, ginger, turmeric. Those are kind of foods that you would include in your diet.
Yeah, I try to stick as natural as I can. I don't use anything man-made, so everything comes from Mother Earth. I always think there's always something for every illness and sickness that's already here on this earth is what I believe. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying in my heart, my intuition, my pineal gland is telling me that there's always something to fix any issue, any ailment. So I really try to stick natural as I can. I try to stay away from anything, in a box, in a can, in plastic. I mean, I
Okay.
really keep it as natural as possible for sure.
Right. That's another reason why I'm looking forward to when you come out with a recipe book. That for people like me, I have type 1 diabetes. These kind of diets are ideal for sure. So then, in the detoxing heavy metal, do you want to just mention some of the things that you recommend in that specifically?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always, every day, always start out with a dandelion root and a burdock root. And this one actually has some soursop in it. And I drink this throughout the day. And I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and it's a blood purifier. It oxygenates your blood. Dandelion root has so many values to it. I'm telling you. So does burdock. They have minerals and nutrients in there that's unheard of in any other or anything else. But I love these natural herbs. Are my way to do it.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. And then
I,
I
I remember during. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Well, during these fasts, I mean, for me, the detoxing and cleansing, I remember my anxiety, the brain fog, the mucus, congestion, insomnia, anger, frustration, irritability. It would all
Mm.
it would dissipate. It would kind of become not so heavy. It would become lighter within me. I remember these feelings just kind of like, where'd they go? What happened? But it was, of course, the mixture of the detox and the cleanse from these parasites, heavy metals. That was
Right.
actually
And isn't that amazing that, and I love that point, Cody, that sometimes we think of these cleanses just as affecting our physical health, but all of this affects our emotional health very much so, and our spiritual health, all of
absolutely.
it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I noticed that you have some things on the mineral salt baths and natural hot springs. You have some things listed there that you can add to baths.
Yeah, I mean the salts basically is what it is. If you can get to a hot springs, natural hot springs, it has a lot of the minerals and nutrients, the salts that you need. I mean, really, just a good salt bath will help you kind of cleanse your body. It goes into your cells, like I said, it binds with any of these heavy metals, these parasite eggs, these parasites, and it flushes you clean. Any pesticides, any mold. So it's really vital after you do a fast and you're doing your detox to do a cleanse. So it's kind of goes hand in hand. And like I said before, we don't have to do all this at once. We can take a little bit, like we can do an intermittent fasting. Then we can take a little bit of the detox stuff for the parasites, maybe just the para-free or some type of anti-parasitic. And then we could do, of course, a detox with the heavy metals. That's always a good one to use cilantro, basically. You could just have a cilantro and maybe a cucumber and tomato salad, which is super easy to eat. Or you could just have a smoothie, maybe a cilantro smoothie with some fruit in there and some turmeric and black pepper. Those are kind of my
Mhm.
cleanse, of course. Those have helped me. So those are my
Right.
big.
And how? Um, of course, at the top of this paper, and we don't have to go to the top of the paper, but at the top of it, we put a little disclaimer, that this isn't medical advice. Certainly consult your doctor before you do any of this, and follow labels on things and everything, on the things that you buy where it says how to use it. But I do want to ask you what your personal opinion is about, like, how long would you do the detox? I know you said we fasting for 1 to 3 days, but how long do you actually detox your body for? Because you don't want to go on and on and on with it, right?
No, what I do is I'll start with the fast time. So if I'm doing a fast for one day, I'll do the parasite cleanse during that time. And then of course, if you're the more
Okay.
and more you build up, you can get up to a week. I wouldn't go any more than a week of detoxing yourself. And then you could take a week
Okay.
off and feel like you need to go through it again. You could do another couple days or a week down the road, but always give your body a little bit of break in between there.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know, because some people might hit it too hard as well,
No,
and go kind of the opposite direction than you're intending. So if we could scroll down on this paper just to the rest of that, thank you. And there you go. So obviously eating clean is important. You just mentioned like a tomato and cucumber salad. Those are organic foods that you'd want to
cilantro,
have free of
cilantro
pesticides.
for sure. I think
And
the
then,
cilantro in that salad is perfect. Go ahead.
oh, okay, cilantro is good
It just
for.
heavy metals. It binds with the heavy metals, and that's my main one I usually use with the heavy metals. Is a lot of cilantro.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. And then you have a little set of ingredients for fruit smoothies that you like to make.
Yeah, I
Can you
usually
go over
fast
that?
every day in the morning until around noon, and I'll have a fruit smoothie, which is for me it's just been a it just helps me to stay kind of light on my feet and feel lighter inside my spirit, and it helps you kind of stay clean throughout this whole process. And then I'll have a good meal usually after lunch there.
Okay. And then also included on your recommendations as we scroll down is deep breathing, right? We're regulating our nervous system, and we want to be in a calm mind, calm body. And uh, you've included the benefits of deep breathing, all that it does for our nervous system. It seems like such a simple thing, and it really is if you focus and take a deep breath. But the benefits are incredible of deep breathing and calming our nervous system. Let's see. So, some of the benefits: lowering your blood pressure, reducing stress, oxygenating your blood, exercising your lungs, increasing physical and mental energy, and improving overall immunity. So, just deep breathing and taking in deep, meaningful, I call them belly breaths, can help us to not be sick as often, as does all the rest of this. And then Cody notes on this also that perhaps most importantly, it allows us to stay centered in our hearts, which is absolutely where we want to be focused and centered. We want to come from our heart space. So, yeah, if you could scroll down a little bit more there, Caleb. So, Cody finishes this out by saying that, he begins his day with a prayer. Oh, there he is again. Cody, you begin your day with a prayer or a meditation, some kind of body movement, some stretching and whatnot. That's how you begin each day. Is that right?
I do. I mean, with me, there's 7 things that I follow. It's kind of like my 7 rules. So I love to start out
Oh,
with
good.
prayer, any kind of spirituality. I call it manifesting. So I like to kind of sit there and manifest how my day is or how I feel, and really get in touch with that heart center of myself. Number 2 would be the food and water intake. So it's very vital that we are consciously aware of what we're putting inside of our temples. So this is how we think and feel is through what we're eating and how we're drinking, what we're drinking. 3 would be exercise, body movement. Have some type of yoga, walking. I mean, stretching even. Stretching is so very important. Or it would be nature, grounding ourselves, being out there, touching a tree, in the water, taking our shoes off, feeling some type of, interconnectedness with all of this out here. So at 5, this is a good one. This is that journaling. This is reading and writing. So if you have no one around you and you're feeling, some type of emotion, get out a journal. Do some journaling. Do some reading and writing. These always seem to help me and bring me back into my safe place. Number 6 would be expressing, communicating. So anytime we get a chance, it's always good to express our thoughts and our feelings, even if we're amongst ourselves, you could speak out loudly to ourselves. It's the one person that's hearing everything is ourselves. So we really want to dedicate this communication within ourselves. And that way it's so much easier when we're out with people. It just comes naturally. And number 7, this is a big one that we all forget. It's doing something for our inner child. Anything that brings awareness for that child that's in us all. Playing games, being around children, throwing a football, baseball, basketball, golfing, movies, laughing, coloring, water parks. Any of these things, just to bring that inner joy within us and remind us what we are. It's that inner child we cover up and we forget how vital and important that is to keep that inner child and to express and show that and feel that.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Before we take this document down off the screen, I just want to draw people's attention real quick to the contact information for you, Facebook contact information, so that people can maybe, I don't know, take a picture of it or something, so that they can find you on Facebook. Oh, yep, there it is highlighted. The weaving as well. There we go. Yep, that is the Facebook site where you put all this kind of information out there on. And thank you for, you could take the document down now. Thank you so much. So I love the 7 things that you just noted. That is amazing. And again, we just talked about how you start each day with a prayer. I know that you're such a spiritual, prayerful person. I love to hear your prayers. So first, I want to thank you for being here today. I am literally going to take this and use it as a roadmap for detoxing my vessel, because I this is a time in my life where I need to be doing this, and I believe it'll help me a lot with my blood sugar as well, with my diabetes. Yeah, so I am going to take this information and use it. Cody, thank you so much for being here. Would you be willing to kindly close out our show today with a prayer for all of us?
Of course. I'm going to bring in a good friend. This is Piwapis Nepu. This is Iron Man. And of course, I'm Wapis Pasquale. This is White Buffalo. Can you hear us?
Can hear you. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep,
Here we
got
go.
it.
We're going to light up some medicine, and we're going to say some wonderful words for this full circle here. So I think Piwapis has got some good medicine going here for us. I want to first bring that deep breath. The most important thing about life is that breath of life. I want to send some most powerful, highest frequencies inside of ourselves, like a Torah field outside, through Mother Earth, back in. I want to send some protection for them, some direction in all ways, all colors, all people. Remember, we're standing here for all people that are red, all the yellow people, all the black people, all the white people. We're all one. No one's above, no one below. I want to send all the love to the women out there for everything that you do for the bringers of life. I love you. You are appreciated in all of us, in everything you do. To all the elders for being and walking before us, I love you with all my heart. Thank you for all that you've done for us, giving us this foundation to walk lightly. All the males ourselves, stay strong in our hearts. Help us to really dedicate this love, this joy inside of ourselves, express this, show our children this. Know that we're here for each other. I really want to bring this energy out into this world. I want to open up any deceiving, any type of thing that's blocking our eyes, anything holding on to us. I want us to feel it in a deeper manner, see things that we've never been able to see before. Feel, speak. Let us speak kindly of each other. It doesn't matter this division that's happened. I stand for all people in all ways, all cultures and all beliefs. I am here for all of us. So just remind us of this, the strength that is in all of us. I put this white buffalo out there in front of all the animals, all the spirits, any type of air and water, all this Mother Earth has to offer. I want everything to be protected, directed. We're here for each other. I stand for us all. Kisi Manto, Great Spirit, Source Energy. Give us this energy, this love of life. I couldn't ask for a better body to carry my spirit in. For a lot of my life, I felt uncomfortable in this body. Help us all to feel at one with ourselves. Help us to know that we're all here together. We're all equal in this full circle. I stand for us all. I love you all. Kisa Gitin, that means I love you in Cree. Thank you all. Heya, heya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Cody. And thank you for being here today. I think that's a beautiful way to end our show. So until next time, Cody, I would love to have you back on. Let me know when you have those books written.
Of course. Thank you so much, Tracy. I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you for your time. And thank you, everybody out there who takes the time to listen to the show. We'll see you next week.
This has been Talks with Tracy. Join us each week as Tracy and her guests will come together and realize that underneath it all, we are all the same and never alone. So join us each week and let Talks with Tracy be your safe place to land in your healing journey. Right here, Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.